You wake up before your alarm, again. You answer the messages, empty the dishwasher, send the email no one asked you to send, but everyone will quietly rely on. Your calendar is full, your bills are paid, you remember everybody's birthday. From the outside, your life looks like a neat, color-coded spreadsheet. From the inside, it feels like a grayscale film, not a crisis, just a constant, low-level ache that never really leaves, because high-functioning sadness isn't the kind that knocks you down. It's the kind that lets you keep going long after you've stopped wanting to. This video isn't about dramatic breakdowns or rock-bottom stories. It's about the quiet kind of sadness that gets good at answering emails, showing up on time and cracking jokes at the office, while something hollow stares out from behind your own eyes. We're going to talk about why that happens, what it's really protecting, and what healing looks like when your life technically works. There is a hidden trap in being okay enough that nobody ever thinks to ask if you're happy. Sometimes the most exhausted people in the room are the ones everyone else leans on. Let's start here. You are not falling apart. You are functioning. You reply. You show up. You say, "No worries, I've got it." And you really do. If someone made a list of the reliable ones, your name would be on it, maybe at the top. And yet if you let yourself be brutally honest for half a second, how long has it been since you felt genuinely excited about anything? Not just relieved you finished a task, not just, "That was nice, I guess," but that warm, fizzy, alive feeling that used to visit you when you were younger, or when life still felt like it could surprise you. The truth is, you don't crash. You fade. You keep moving through your days like a competent ghost. You laugh in the right places, but the sound doesn't quite reach your chest. You care about people deeply, but you feel slightly behind glass when you're with them. And when you do notice the sadness, in the shower, in the car, lying awake in the dark, another voice shows up instantly. "Nothing is that bad. You're just being dramatic. Other people have it worse." How are you supposed to say, "I'm not okay," when you can't point to a single thing that's wrong? So you do what you've always done. You downplay it. You take one more task, one more favor, one more night of, "I'm fine, don't worry." The cost is subtle, but real. Your life keeps moving forward, and somehow you feel yourself disappearing from it. If parts of this already feel uncomfortably familiar, you don't have to say anything out loud. Just quietly admit to yourself, "Okay, that might be me." First, we need to name what's actually happening. High-functioning sadness is not the movie version of depression, where someone can't get out of bed and everything collapses overnight. It's more like a background app that never closes. You still go to work, you still study, cook, text, clean, but your emotional life runs at low battery mode permanently. Joy feels muted, rest feels undeserved. If something good does happen, you almost flinch, waiting for the catch. You don't sob on the floor. You stare at the wall for 3 seconds too long between tasks, and then force yourself to move. Somewhere along the way, sadness stopped being an event and became the water you swim in. You stopped calling it sad. You started calling it tired, busy, overwhelmed. It's just a lot right now. And it's not that you're lying. It is a lot, but it's also more than that. Underneath there is a second pattern, using competence as a sedative. For many people, high-functioning sadness is intimately tied to achievement. When you feel low, you don't crumble. You organize. You start a new project. You clean the kitchen at midnight. You become the emotional manager of every friend group you're in. You mistake motion for meaning, because when you're busy, you don't have to look too closely at the numbness. Being productive gives you tiny hits of, "I matter." People praise you. "You're so strong." "I don't know how you do it all." They're complimenting you on the very thing that keeps you from stopping long enough to feel anything. Pause for a second and scan your week. Where do you outrun yourself the most? Behind that over-functioning is often an early lesson. Your worth is in what you do, not in how you feel. If you grew up as the easy child, the self-sufficient one, the peacemaker, you were rewarded for needing as little as possible. You learned that your feelings were negotiable, but your usefulness was non-negotiable. So you got very good at being useful, and very bad at being human. Here's the cruel part. The world is built to applaud that. We live in cultures that call exhaustion hustle, emotional suppression, stoicism, and constant availability being a team player. Workplaces celebrate the person who answers emails at ridiculous hours. Families lean hardest on the one who never says, "I can't right now." Society doesn't just ignore high-functioning sadness, it incentivizes it. No one tells you, "Hey, you seem oddly calm for someone carrying this much." Instead, you're promoted, you're admired. You're told, "You're so resilient," when what you really are is dissociated and compliant. The system doesn't ask whether you're okay. It only asks whether you're available. So of course you blame yourself. From the outside, your life fits the template of doing well. On the inside, you're wondering why doing well feels like slowly leaking color. This isn't just a personal flaw. It's a pattern that your environment has quietly trained and rewarded. This isn't a moral failing. It's a nervous system trying to survive in a culture that confuses burnout with virtue. Script research. Gemini. For many of us, the training started at home. Maybe you were the child who didn't cause trouble, the one teachers loved because you were polite and quiet and never needed extra attention. Maybe there were bigger fires in the house, a depressed parent, a sibling who struggled, financial chaos lurking behind closed doors. You learned to read the room like a weather report. Is dad in a mood? Is mum about to cry? Who do I need to be today to keep things calm? There is a particular kind of loneliness in being praised for being so mature for your age, when that maturity was just your nervous system growing up too fast to keep everyone else together. Fast forward, and you are still that kid. You anticipate needs before anyone speaks. You apologize when someone else is uncomfortable. You insist you're fine the second your own emotions rise above a quiet whisper. Your sadness never learned how to ask for comfort. It only learned how to make sure everybody else was okay. If you're listening and thinking, "This sounds a lot like my childhood," you're in very familiar company here. This whole space is quietly full of people who grew up being the stable one at their own expense. Underneath all of this is a biological story too. High-functioning sadness is often a nervous system that chose freeze and fawn over fight or collapse. Your body learned that fully feeling your grief, anger, or despair wasn't safe. So it did something incredibly intelligent. It dialed everything down. Not just the pain, the joy too. You might notice that whenever life slows down, you get restless or anxious. Days off make you uneasy. Silence in the house feels loud. Moments that should feel peaceful instead feel wrong, like you're forgetting something important. That's your body, wired to expect impact. It doesn't quite trust rest. It doesn't quite believe in, okay. So even when things are fine, a faint forecast of sadness hangs in the air, like your nervous system is holding an umbrella on a cloudless day, just in case. Let yourself notice that you feel something right now, even if it's just tired, because that's where we start. Not by bulldozing this sadness away, but by finally turning toward it. So what do you actually do with high-functioning sadness? You can't simply drop every responsibility and disappear into the mountains. You have a life, people, commitments. The work here is subtle but radical. You let sadness stop being the secret engine of your competence and start being a feeling you're allowed to have. The first step is naming. For a long time, You've called this just how I am. Changing that sentence matters. You might literally tell yourself, I'm not broken. I'm carrying high-functioning sadness. Then you start to track it, not obsessively, just honestly. Once a day, pause and ask, if 0 is emotionally numb and 10 is completely overwhelmed, where am I right now? Write the number down, one word next to it, flat. Heavy, disconnected. You are teaching your brain that your inner weather exists and is worth noticing. Next comes reparenting, in very small, practical ways. Think of yourself as the kid you once were, the easy one who learned not to be a problem. What would you want an adult to say to that child when they look tired but insist they're fine? Maybe something like, you don't have to impress anyone right now. It makes sense that you feel this way. You're allowed to rest, even if nothing is on fire. You begin saying those things to yourself out loud or on paper, especially in the micro moments when you would normally override your own needs. You let yourself cry for 30 seconds in the bathroom instead of blinking it away. You take a slightly longer route home and play the song that actually makes you feel something. Even if you're scared, it will crack you open. Tiny, safe leaks in the dam. Then, there is the part most high-functioning people hate, safe dependence. Healing this pattern doesn't mean becoming helpless. It means letting some of your weight rest in other hands. Maybe that looks like telling one trusted friend, I'm struggling more than it looks, and I don't totally know how to talk about it yet. Maybe it's allowing someone to cook for you without immediately jumping up to help. Maybe it's therapy, where you finally say the unsayable sentence, my life looks good and I still feel dead inside. You start collecting evidence that being cared for doesn't immediately lead to rejection, ridicule, or more responsibility. That your worth to people can be more than what you do for them. If you know future, you tend to minimize everything again. It might actually help to save this video somewhere. So the next time you convince yourself it wasn't that bad, you can come back to the version of you who knew it was. And then there's relapse, because you will go back into autopilot. A busy week will happen. Someone you love will need you. Work will explode. Suddenly you're saying yes to everything again. You haven't checked in with yourself for days, and that grey fog is back. Relapse here is not proof that you failed. It's proof that this pattern is old and well practiced. When you notice it, the move is simple and kind. Name it. Oh, right. I slip back into high-functioning mode. Pause. Literally stop for 1 full minute. Breathe, feel your feet. Choose one small act of care. A glass of water. A message asking for a call. Writing down one honest sentence about how you're really doing. You are not starting from 0. Every time you notice sooner, every time you soften a little instead of pushing harder, your nervous system learns a new story. One where you are allowed to be both capable and sad. One where your value isn't measured only in what you manage to carry without complaint. So come back to that morning, the alarm that never had to ring, the dishes stacked, the messages answered, the day already half lived before the sun has fully decided to show up. Only this time, imagine you catch yourself. You put the mug down. You lean on the counter. For a moment, you drop the performance of I'm fine and just admit, even if it's only in your own head, I'm tired of living a life that works on paper but feels empty in my body. Maybe nothing huge changes that day. Maybe you still go to work, still answer the emails, still show up. But on your lunch break, you sit in the quiet instead of scrolling. That evening, you send one message that's slightly more honest than usual. You let your face relax in the mirror and say, hey, I see you. High-functioning sadness doesn't evaporate in a single epiphany. It softens as you stop abandoning yourself in the name of being the strong one. If you want a place where we keep naming these quieter patterns, where strength includes softness, you can subscribe and stay close for the next conversation. From hiding your sadness inside relentless efficiency to letting it be witnessed in small, human moments. From overperforming for love to letting yourself be loved even when you're not impressive. From a life that only ever looked okay from the outside to a life that, slowly, quietly, starts to feel like it fits from the inside.